Hello, friends. Welcome to another wonderful webinar here at Show It. We are so excited to have Ryan Moreno. He is with TONIC Site Shop, one of our favorites. Maybe I shouldn't say that. We love all of our designers, but we definitely love TONIC, and we are so excited to have Ryan with us today. As we are getting started with this webinar, I'd love to welcome you in. Ryan is a big traveler. He used to be a wedding photographer or maybe just a photographer in general, but he has traveled 31 countries. And so if you happen to be tuning in from a different country, and it's a country that Ryan hasn't been to out of the 31 he's traveled to, I'm going to send you a prize. So tell us where you're from. We got a lot of Americans here, so bless you, Americans. Oh my gosh, Zimbabwe? Are you kidding, Christy? I'm going to have to check with Ryan because you might be the winner, but you might not be. Who knows? I love it. I think I have been to, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 countries. But talking to Ryan, we were like, oh, wait, have you traveled the States very much? And, I don't know that I've never been to Delaware. We'll see if maybe Ryan's been to Delaware. But we are so excited that you guys are all here. And we love chatting with you guys. Ooh, Italy, love it. Norway, Finland. Guys, we are so international this morning. Welcome. You guys are amazing. Dubai, guys, you guys are out of control. All right, maybe you guys all win. I don't know. We'll see. So again, we have a phenomenal training today on SEO. Ryan is going to break this down for us. He's going to give us some actual things that we can use to better our SEO on our websites. So it's going to be a lot of information. So just sit back, take it all in, take some notes. This is recorded. So if you have to leave in the middle of it or, it's just so much that you're like, I have to rewatch that. You can. It's recorded, so you'll watch it again. Oh my gosh. Caribbean, Switzerland, Netherlands, guys, Kenya, and Portland. I see you, Portland. Don't worry. You're also as valuable as our international friends. Guys, I'm dying. I wish we could all just be sitting in a chat room so I could see your faces and what's going on around you. I love it. Netherlands. We got 2 Netherlands. Guys, this is the best. Okay, so thank you for being here. Again, chat it up in here. We're all hanging out. This is awesome. I want to encourage you to stay till the end because Ryan is going to drop extra knowledge and resources and download stuff. And then we'll also have a live Q&A. So if you have a question, go ahead and throw it in the chat, as he's talking, throw it in there and I will I'll write it down and we'll send it over to Ryan. And so we'll answer as many questions as we can. But yeah, today we're going to do 3 steps to better your SEO for your website. So we are super excited to have Ryan here with us and all of you guys from all of these beautiful places. And Ryan, take it away.
Thank you, G. Hey, I'm so excited to be here. And I'm shocked as well. What an international crowd. That's super cool. Never been to Zimbabwe to answer your question. So I'm really excited to be here. My name is Ryan. I work with TONIC Site Shop. I was a photographer for almost 5 years. And I turned into kind of a website designer and then really started to focus on SEO because I noticed that so many people needed SEO, including myself. And so that's kind of where I think I'm unique as an SEO specialist. I didn't study just to be an SEO specialist without the knowledge of the industry. I myself was a creative, a photographer, and then got into SEO because I saw the need. So I'm really excited to go over SEO with you guys today and really excited to answer questions. I love Q&A, so I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible. There is a lot of information, so I will take my time. But the goal for today is to really show you practical steps that you can be taking today to actually improve your SEO. So I'm not going to use big terminology. I'm not going to jump in and show you code and all these things. I'm going to keep it simple, but these things that are very simple, I've seen incredible results from. So they do matter. They're very important. And if you have SEO experience, you'll probably learn some things. If you have no SEO experience at all, you're going to learn a lot and it's going to be great. And just like Jihei mentioned, I do have resources at the end, which is going to be really, really awesome. And so stay tuned for that link at the very end. So with that said, let's jump in. In this webinar, we're going to talk about three different kind of like topics when it comes to SEO. The first being on-page SEO, the second being SEO-friendly content, and then the third, website design, which is a very unique one. A lot of people go, does my website design actually play a role in my SEO? And you'll be shocked to know that it does. So we're going to cover why it does and how it's important. But before we jump into on-page SEO, I want to cover a few different things. First being, is SEO important, right? So I get this question asked a lot. And a lot of people, they ask me that because they're comparing it to ads, like Facebook ads or Google ads, and they're comparing it to Pinterest and YouTube and social media. All of those avenues are great. There are so many different avenues to get clients to book you, and I'm not against any of them. SEO is just one of those ways, but it is a very important way of getting clients to book you, and I'll tell you why. SEO, it's like your 24 hours, 7 days a week salesman, right? So when someone searches for a service that you offer or a problem that you can solve or a question that you can actually answer on your website, wouldn't it be nice to show up in front of those who need you the most? That is SEO at its core, right? So SEO can help you get found by hundreds, even thousands of people online looking for exactly what you offer, even when you sleep. Okay. So not only will SEO make you more money, it will give you more time to focus on what you do best and less time hustling on social media and paying for ads that only work if you keep dishing out. Again, that is my favorite part about SEO. You get on page one, most likely you're going to stay on page one, and every time someone searches that, you're just going to be found by them and people are going to land on your website. Chances are, if you have a great website design, they're going to hit your contact page and contact you. So first, what is SEO, right? SEO, search engine optimization. We've all heard that word thrown around webinars like this and Facebook groups and everything, right? But at the core, it's a way of optimizing your website so that Google's bot can really understand what your website is all about. It's very important that we convince Google of who we are and what we do. So I'm going to show you how we can do that on our show at websites today, okay? And well, one last thing before we jump into on-page SEO, I want to cover the Google algorithm. I want you to understand the Google algorithm, right? So this is straight from google.com. Google says that Google's search algorithm looks at many factors, including the words of your query, relevance and usability of pages, expertise of sources, and your location and settings. Okay, so Google's looking for keywords on your website. It's looking for content that is relevant to those keywords as well. And it's looking for great website design, essentially, right? It's looking for user experience. So is there positive user experience? Is there negative user experience? They're also looking for proof of expertise. They want to know that you are an expert in your industry and at what you do or what you're talking about. Because, and again, we're going to look into this a little bit more deeper when we come to the content section. But Google really wants to put the best source of information at the top of Google. They don't want to just put any old document or any old website at the top, okay? And they're also looking for information about you. That's very important to Google, that they know who you are, where you're at, what you do. In text form, okay? So what is Google not looking for? Well, they're not looking for keywords stuffed all over your website. It's a very bad idea. They're not looking for pages with no text-based content that's supporting the keywords on your website. So pages with just images. And we'll talk about that a little bit more specifically for our photographer friends out there. It's okay to have pages with just images, like a portfolio page. But we'll kind of go over the reason that those aren't the best to get indexed. And then we're going to talk about how to create SEO friendly content as well that will support those, just image based pages. And then lastly, Google is not looking for a complicated or clunky website. All right, so let's jump into step one here. I'm going to talk to you guys about on-page SEO. This is probably going to be the more technical section of this webinar. But again, like I mentioned, at the end of this webinar, there's going to be a link that you guys can go and download some free resources that go in depth about this. and I go in to show it and I show you some of the things that I'm going to be talking to you about. So don't get nervous if some of this sounds too complicated or over your head. We have resources for you to really understand. Okay. So on-page SEO, basically optimizing everything that's going on behind the scenes of your website, right? So on-page SEO is going through your website page by page and optimizing the content on that page. And by optimizing, I mean adding SEO titles and meta descriptions, adding keywords where keywords should be placed, setting up text tags on your website so there's some structure, and then adding alt text to your image. So those are just like image descriptions. Now I'm going to walk you through each of these and kind of briefly go into it. But like I mentioned, there is a resource at the end that's going to show you more in depth about how to, really write SEO titles and optimize your images and optimize your alt text and all that good stuff. Okay. So SEO titles and meta descriptions, these are titles and descriptions that don't show up on your website anywhere. They're actually behind the scenes in the code. And it's what Google reads as the title of the page and puts that in a Google search results page. So they're very important, but oftentimes they're very overlooked. Okay. This also is the title that shows up in a browser tab. So if you have multiple tabs open in your browser and you hover over one, you'll notice that a little title shows up, and that is your SEO title. So these are very important because they're going to be an area where you can add keywords and really clarify what the page is about. So when writing SEO titles, I want you to keep these 4 things in mind. I want you to keep in mind that it should be clean and simple. I also want you to know that you should be very clear about what the page, this very specific page, is about. So every single show it page should have its own page title or SEO title and meta description. Okay. And within those, the title and the description, I want there to be keywords. And then always remember to add your brand name at the end. So I have an example here. This is tonicsiteshop.com/the collection. This is our template collection page. And instead of our SEO title just being the collection -tonic site shop or shop -tonic site shop, we wanted to add some clarity. What are you going to expect to see when clicking on this link, right? So we wrote show it website templates for creatives, and that contains the major keywords that we're trying to hit, which is show it, website templates, and then creatives. Okay. We always end it with our brand name, which is Tonic Site Shop. So the next thing that we really want to focus on for on-page SEO is going to be keywords. So keywords are almost like search terms that you would imagine your ideal client searching into Google, right? So are you a Nashville wedding photographer? Well, you should have that exact phrase on your website. That's how keywords work, right? We can go pretty in depth with keywords. We're not going to go in depth too much here. We do have some more free resources coming out in the future that go really in depth with keywords. So look out for that as well. But they're very important. I literally get asked this question all the time, like, why am I not ranking for, this in my town, like my profession in my town? So Nashville wedding photographer, for example. And I go to their website and I'm like, okay, let's look, do you mention Nashville wedding photography on your website anywhere? And no, they don't. We simply add that to their website in the form of an H1 and bam, the rankings increase pretty much like within the month. So it's one of those things where you need to make sure you're focusing on keywords. It's very important. So when we want to optimize keywords, there's a few things we want to look out for, right? So we want to add keywords and phrases that your clients are looking for online. We also want to add keyword variations to your website. So don't just keep reusing the same exact keyword or key phrase over and over and over. Try to find variations. And an easy way of doing that is just jumping over to google.com, typing in your main keyword, and seeing what else comes up, what related searches come up, what questions people are asking. You can find more information about that and add that kind of information to your website as well. And then last but not least, each page should have a unique keyword. So don't make every single page on your website the same exact keyword. You could have your cornerstone keywords, that you do repeat on multiple pages, but every page should be specific and have a specific purpose. Like your services page are geared towards, explaining your, let's say, your photography services or your therapy session information. So things like that. That is the purpose of that page. So make sure your keywords line up with the purpose of the page. All right, the next thing that I want you to focus on when looking at on-page SEO is text tags. So H1, H2, H3, and paragraph, right? So this is going to help create structure on your website, and it really helps both the reader and Google better understand the content on your page. So again, when Google looks at your website, they're not looking at it in the same way as a human. A human looks at your website and sees color and font size and images and all of it arranged in a really beautiful way. Google, though, they see code. They just see a bunch of code. So for them to understand this text is different than this other body of text, we have to wrap it in a text tag, okay? So luckily we use Showit, so we don't actually have to see any code, which is amazing. Showit has an incredibly easy way to update text tags. And in the free resource at the end, again, like I mentioned, I will go over how to do that and show it. But when focusing on text tags, I want you to use only one H1 per page. And then I also want you to use H2s for section headings. But also remember, paragraphs are very important as well. They support the heading. So I want you to not just use a bunch of headings on your website. Go in, add headings where necessary. So your section headings like my services, and then a list of your services, and then explanations of your service as well. That's really going to help Google understand who you are, what you do, and then where to rank you in Google, right? And then also be consistent with your headings. So if you use headings correctly on your homepage, make sure you go through all of your pages and update the rest of your pages accordingly as well. And last but not least, headings should have keywords. That's a very important part to optimizing your headings. It's not just having like services. Add some keywords in there. So wedding photography services. That would be a better heading than just services. It lets Google know, okay, this section of this website is about wedding photography services, or even more in depth, Nashville wedding photography packages or something like that, right? So we definitely want to add keywords into our headings. All right, so adding alt text to your images. So alt text is a short description of your image. It helps both Google and visually impaired users better understand the context of your image. Again, going back to the fact that Google looks at the code of your website, they're not necessarily looking at the actual image like a human does. Google is getting smarter, and they do have AI that reads photos, but traditionally, Google's going to look at the alt text to get the description of your image, so it really just builds the context of your page. So when writing alt text for images, let it be short, clear, and to the point. We don't need to be long-winded with these alt text. And again, it should also contain keywords specific to that image and specific to that page that you're adding that image to. And then each image on your website should also have a unique description, okay? So I know that was a ton of information, so let's recap really quick. Adding SEO titles and meta descriptions to each of your show pages is very important. I want you to make each title specific to what that page is about and use keywords. If you want a very in-depth resource on how to write SEO titles and where they should go, what they should look like, you can visit tonicsiteshop.com/showit SEO titles meta descriptions. And that is going to give you an awesome resource on how to craft beautiful SEO-friendly page titles. Next, I want you to optimize text tags for each of your text blocks. So make sure that you go through every page and do that. While you're doing that, it's a good idea to just add alt text to all the images at the same time. And then make sure that you add keywords and phrases to your website, right? So remember this, Google only knows who you are and what you do if you tell them. So that is the importance of adding like very specific keywords to your website. So, and we ended off on keywords. It's a beautiful transition into the next step here, which is SEO friendly content. Okay. If you were to ask me, is there a magic trick to SEO? I would say yes, actually content. Building beautiful SEO friendly content is the magic ingredient from going invisible to page one of Google. Okay. So let's go over what content is and how we can actually create some really SEO friendly content. So here's something straight from Google. Beyond matching words in your query. So query is just a search term. So it's what people type into Google. So beyond matching the words in a search with relevant documents, so, pages on a website, search algorithms also aim to prioritize the most reliable sources available. Okay. That's straight from Google. They're not just interested in putting, relevant documents on the web. Google's very interested in putting the most reliable sources available in front of their users. Google's number one goal is to please their users, the searcher, not to please businesses that want to just get on page one. Okay, so keep that in mind. Most reliable sources available. So what is SEO friendly content? Well, this is a statement from Moz.com, which is a very reliable SEO blog out there. There is no secret sauce to ranking in search results. Google ranks pages highly because it has determined they are the best answer to searchers' questions. So you have to be the best answer to whatever your ideal client is searching online. Your page has to provide value to searchers and be better than any other page Google is currently serving as the answer to a particular query. Okay. So are you providing high quality answers to your dream clients' questions? If not, it's going to be very difficult for you to get on page one and rank well for keywords that your dream clients are looking for online. So you might be saying, okay, great, that's awesome, but how do I write this SEO friendly content, right? So the easiest way to create beautiful SEO friendly content is going to be using your blog. It's very difficult to add the amount of text that Google really likes to, let's say, a homepage or an about page. It's not impossible, but I want you to know that your blog is going to be your best friend when it comes to trying to rank for multiple keywords that your ideal clients are searching for. So here's how we use our blog to get on page one of Google. There's 5 steps. And step 1 being putting yourself in your dream client's shoes. So I want you to ask yourself, what are my dream clients searching for online that I have answers to? That is step 1. Once you figure out what my dream clients are searching for, you can then go search for what you imagine your ideal clients searching for and search it in Google. Like literally go to google.com, type in what you imagine they're typing in, and then step 3, study what is on page 1. So look through all of the results from result 1 all the way down to the bottom result. Look at the related questions, the related searches, get an idea, get very familiar with page 1. Because your steps 4 and 5 are going to be brainstorming the ideas of how to create content that is actually even better than what you see on page 1. So to create content that's better than anything you see on page 1, you're going to have to be very familiar with page 1. So it's very simple. Get in Google, type in what you imagine your clients are going to be searching for, get an idea of what is ranking, and then step 5 being write a blog post that doesn't actually reinvent the wheel, but go in depth about a topic more than what you see other high-ranking results doing. Okay, so that's the key to SEO-friendly content. It isn't a bad idea to be very creative with something, but at the same time, if it's working and it's showing up on page 1, you know that if you create something similar to that, but even better, more in depth, more professional take on this topic, your chances are you're going to get ranked above those people. Now, there's more that goes into it with domain authority and all these things. But again, at the end of the day, what did we see Google saying? They're not just looking for any document. They're looking for reliable sources. Okay. So we want to be that reliable source. Now, I know that that was a lot of information. Okay. So like I mentioned, at the end of this webinar, there's going to be a link where you can go and download an SEO checklist that's going to cover step by step everything that you should do to create this high quality SEO friendly content. It also comes with a video that walks through the checklist, so you're not lost while looking at the checklist. Everything's going to be explained to you. My goal is honestly for you to get on page one. It's so fun, and I can't wait for that to happen. So make sure you get that resource at the end. And our last and final step, design. One of my favorite parts of SEO is working with people on their design because it actually plays a bigger role in SEO than you may think. Okay, so let's take a look at why design plays a role in your SEO. So search algorithms look at many factors, including the words of your query. So again, query is just search terms. So including the words of your search terms, relevance and usability of pages, expertise and sources, and your location and settings. So this is that same quote that I mentioned in the very beginning of this webinar, right? But what are we highlighting this time? Google's looking, the algorithm is looking for usability of pages, AKA user experience. So your website design matters, right? So good design keeps users on your website, and here's why. First, I want to talk to you about the 8-second rule. So if a user feels confused or unsure about your website, there's a very high chance that they will bounce off your site. So even if the content they're looking for is there, they can't find it very easily, they're going to bounce off your site and go to the next result in Google, and we don't want that at all, right? So your website is oftentimes your first professional first impression. Over 30% of users leave a website if they don't like the design. That's huge, you guys. And even more leave if they can't easily navigate through your website, especially on mobile. Okay, so you can have the best content in the world, but if it's hard to find, hard to read, just a really bad experience, it doesn't matter. Google's going to show the next page before you because the user behavior on that page is more positive. So I want you to know that your website design does play a role in your SEO. Okay, so let's cover what makes a website user-friendly. Well, a user-friendly website looks clean and easy to use, especially on that mobile design. I'm going to mention mobile a lot because Google definitely looks at your mobile website first and foremost. Mobile first indexing is a thing. So they're not going to look at your desktop and go, perfect, let's rank them. They're going to look at your mobile site and your desktop site, but mobile is very important. So make sure that your mobile design is totally on point. Do all the buttons work? Do you have call to actions? Is everything in order? Is it easy to use the navigation, right? Think of these things when you look at your mobile website. I also want you to make sure that you have a clear statement above the fold on every single page that's going to go through. It's going to be a statement that tells the user exactly what they're looking for on that page. Okay, so no vagueness. I want you to have that very clear statement above the fold. I also want you to look at call to actions that lead your users to important information that they should know about, which is very important. I actually have a fun little testimonial. We were working on a client of our website just the other day, and they reached out. They made a quiz page on their own, which was awesome. Yay for Show It, because now clients can, do these things on their own, which is awesome. But they had a question. They were saying, we're just not getting the conversions that we expected. So I took a look at the site. We noticed that the call to action was below the fold. So literally all we did was move that button, that call to action above the fold. And they literally emailed us back the next day saying, oh my God, the conversions are through the roof. It's actually working. So something so simple like that can really even help conversions. Now I know that's a little bit off topic from SEO, but at the same time, we use SEO to get people to our website, and not just to get them there. We want them to experience our website in a really positive way, okay? Remember to have an easy to use navigation. I've mentioned that multiple times, but it is so important to make sure that that navigation is easy to use and to really personalize your website. So I want you to add pictures of you and or your team. If you have one, it's going to be very important to build that trust. Okay, it doesn't stop there. Design is very important. So let's go over a few more topics here. So are you making it easier for your visitors to find your work and your services and your social media accounts and to contact you? So there's multiple ways we can do that, right? Call to actions. Also having beautiful sections on your homepage that really embody the entire site. That's going to be key to getting people to enjoy your website. So again, don't be vague. Don't expect people to know exactly where to go. You need a website that represents all of your brand, everything that you do on the homepage that moves people into a beautiful journey down deeper into your site, okay? Another thing to pay attention to is font size. I don't want to see a bunch of text that's all the same font size and font weight and font style. Mix it up and really call attention to some parts of your website. And that really plays a role into the next topic as well, as make your website scannable. People don't have a lot of patience online, so people usually just scan until something catches their eye, right? So again, using font size and images and call to actions to really make your website scannable is really important. And last but not least, design a useful footer, right? So I want you to link to important information on your website in your footer. A lot of times people will scan your homepage or scan your portfolio page. By the time they get to the bottom, they may have an idea of where they want to go. So the footer is a great place to say, hey, you don't need to take another step. Here are the links right here. Don't go searching. I've got what you need right here. So make sure your footer is useful and resourceful. It's really going to help conversion and positive user experience as well, which again is what Google is looking for. Okay, so let's go over this one more time. A lot of things that we've talked about here. I want you to start with what you have. Okay, so doing on-page SEO for the existing pages you have on your website is step one. Don't skip over and start writing blogs or anything. Really optimize what you have on your website. Okay. Step two would be to go in depth about a topic that you know your dream clients are looking for online. Okay, that topic should be a question that you answer or a problem that you solve in depth. And then last but definitely not least, make sure that you pay attention to your website design. Now, if you know straight away, I need a new website, I need a new design, or I need to really redesign this, you can switch that to step one and then start working on-page SEO and your blog. So make sure that your design is okay. If you're happy with your design, go in and optimize it as well. Clean up and organize the website so that it's easy to use, especially on mobile. Add your call to actions to important pages on your website and personalize your site. So introduce who you are and what you do to quickly build trust between the user and your business. Okay. All right, so like I mentioned, there are resources that we want to give you. I know that a lot of this can be technical and complicated for some. So I want you to head over to tonicsiteshop.com/SEO-download, and you're going to get access to a content SEO checklist. Again, like I said, it's going to cover step one all the way to the finish, step 5 of how to create beautiful SEO-friendly content. And again, it comes with a video that's going to walk you through that checklist as well. I hate when I get a checklist and I'm like, I just don't know where to start, or how do I do this again? Like, I want to explain this checklist to you so you really understand and that it's really valuable to you. This isn't just another PDF. This is going to be a PDF that you can follow every single week or every single month that you write blog posts. So it's printable, it's beautiful. Go ahead and get that. On-page SEO video tutorial, you'll get that as well. So that's going to be a video of me, sharing my screen with you, looking at a show it website and adding SEO titles, adding keywords, adding text tags, and really further explaining the text tag and why we need to optimize them. And then really going into alt text of why we need alt text, why it's so important, and where to add those to your website as well. So make sure that you go to tonicsiteshop.com/SEO-download And that's going to give you all the resources that you need. And if you're one of the, people out there that know, oh man, my website's just not up to date. It's not, where I want it to be. We want to give you a huge head start on making your website Google and user friendly. So you can actually go to tonicsiteshop.com, use the code RyanSEO15, and you will get 15% off at checkout. So make sure you check those out. They're built with intention. They're SEO friendly. And approved by me. So I love them. And it's definitely a great investment, especially if you're serious about long-term business and SEO. So now's the time that I love Q&A. If you have questions, I would love to hear them. And so, GK, I'd love for you to see if there's any questions that we can answer.
Ryan, can we just why don't you take a breath? That was okay. A lot of information. Everyone is dying here because you overwhelmed us with a lot of great information. Not overwhelmed us with information we can't handle. People are stoked and excited to get into their website. Awesome. So I'm so excited for everyone here. Yay, it's going to be great.
Awesome. Yeah.
So good. Okay, so if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I have a couple that people have been asking throughout. So let's get to it. Star Mercer asked, how often should we update page titles?
If a page title is working, you can just leave it. Okay. A lot of page titles on our website have been the same for a year, 2 years. It's one of those things where if it's working, it's working, but it is something that you can update if it's not working. So if you've noticed, again, your page titles are very important because they're speaking to Google and they're speaking to the human that's looking at that link. So it should be convincing to a human of, hey, this is actually what I'm looking for. And it should also contain keywords for Google to know exactly what that page is going to be about. So it's not necessarily something you have to update all the time, but if you know it's not working and you've done everything you can, but still nobody's clicking your link, then go ahead and change it and see if it works better for you.
Okay, love that. Jasmine asked, if I'm posting a blog post with 30 plus photos, how should these files be named? And does that matter as much as the alt text?
Yes. I mean, I've heard things that, your file name does matter. I would play it on the safe side and for sure, rename all of your files to maybe include your brand name and maybe the location of the shoot and things like that. But alt text is definitely what Google reads for the image description. So to be safe, let's do both.
I love it. So good. Irie Copy said, when you set text tags in Show It, do you only set H2s for the section headings and leave H1s out since that's the page title?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, there should only be one H1 per page. Typically, that's at the very top of the website, and it's kind of embodies what the entire page is going to be about. And then your H2s are used. So for example, let's go back to that Nashville wedding photographer example. Their H1 could be just that, Nashville wedding photography. Okay. And under that, there's photography services. That will be your H2. And then you have some description about that. And then you have view my photography portfolio. And then that's another H2. It's all on the same page. So you have multiple H2s, but only one H1.
Love it. And that actually just answered someone's question who just asked, is there a limit on H2 tags per page like there is for H1? And
no limit. Okay. No limit on H2s and H3s. But I do want to stress that paragraphs are very important. A lot of people go ooh, headings. I'm going to add so many different headings on my website because it's, those are the most important. Google's going to see a heading and go, ooh, that's the most important text, which is not true. Google wants to see supporting text around those headings. If there's nothing supporting it, then Google just sees a heading with no context. So we definitely need paragraphs. So use as many headings as you want, but definitely have paragraph text surrounding that.
Love it. Next question from Loyal Media, I think, is it important to include a sitemap page link in your footer, or is this an outdated practice?
Yeah, I don't think it's very necessary. I think that Google, what you should do is add your sitemap to Google Search Console. And that's going to tell Google where your sitemap is exactly. And that's where the bot is going to go to crawl all of your pages. So not necessary to put it in the footer of your website. I would definitely make sure that you check out how to set up Google Search Console and how to add your sitemap to Google Search Console.
Okay, love it. Tamar has a question. She asked, how important is it to have a blog along with a website nowadays? Does having a blog make a difference with SEO, and how easily people find you?
Yeah, I think we just posted this on our Instagram. So make sure you go to TONIC Site Shop's Instagram. And there's a stat in one of the recent posts that we just posted about, I think it's something like 434% more blogs on Google than like regular, just standard website pages. So yes, the answer is yes. You should definitely have a blog. It's very important. It's a much easier way to get ranked because of the amount of content that you can put into a blog post versus a homepage or a portfolio page or about page or anything like that. So is it absolutely necessary? No. But is it something that's very important and highly recommended? Absolutely.
Love it. Autumn Harris asked, is it better to have only one photo above the fold or multiple photos on a carousel, or does that even matter?
I don't think it typically matters at all. I mean, I've heard of things like Yoast came out with an article actually talking about how only 1% of people go through like sliders like above the fold. But again, being in the creative industry, I think that I've actually seen that that percentage a lot higher. We did some tests on tonicsiteshop.com as well. And one of the things that we noticed were people were clicking through the slides like crazy. People loved them. So if you have valuable content, it's okay to have a slide. If it's just like random or just some images, then again, totally okay. Not going to hurt your SEO at all. It's just one of those things where maybe user test it, see if people are clicking through, and if not, then maybe have a static image. It might make your website run faster.
Love it. Which that's another question that Louis Boss asked, is page speed very relevant?
Yes, it is very relevant.
Okay.
It's something to focus on. Luckily with Show It, I mean, I've done so many tests with Show It websites. Out of the box, you can throw as many images on a Show It website as you want using the galleries and the carousels and everything. And I swear, every single site that I've tested is always like 4 seconds or under. And that's great. 2 is like my golden number. But if you don't use all of the galleries and all these things, typically it's around like 1 second or half a second. Like, it's crazy. So Show It websites are very fast right out of the box. So that's not something you have to worry about, but it is important. So, but just know if you're using Show It, that's not something that you typically have to worry about too much.
I love it. And can I just throw out there that I'm not paying Ryan to say any of these nice things about Show It, okay? He's the best. We love him.
I started my career with WordPress development. And so going from literally just looking at a code document and then seeing if it works and going back and forth and trying to design that way, the first time I found Show It, I was like, I dropped everything. And I went, I am only Show It. It is amazing. I am number one fan of Show It. And so I'm always shouting it from the rooftops.
Oh man, that makes us so happy. And I have to admit, Christy from Zimbabwe, who won our giveaway, you just convinced her during this webinar to switch to Show It. So that's kind of awesome.
It is an amazing tool. I promise you, I've used all of them out there, including the other big names that I won't mention, but, I'm a huge fan, especially I'm a big fan of code as well. I love code. I love integration and technical things. And the best part about Show It is you don't have to deal with the boring code. But if you do want a more fancy integrated website and have WordPress plugins and everything, it's totally possible as well. So that's the best part about Show It.
Oh man, I love that. And Christy, you should definitely check out TONIC Site Shop because they have some wicked nice templates. So you may find something there that you absolutely love. Okay, so Hannah Ham asked, for an e-commerce site with product pages, each PDP contains 5 to 10 images of the same product but different views. would you still recommend unique alt text tags for each of these images?
No, at that point you can kind of copy paste and put them there. It's not going to hurt. It's really when I'm talking about like the home page and about page, like unique images to that specific section of that specific page is where you should get really unique. But for that instance where it's an e-commerce site with the same product, just different like angles, it's okay to have the alt text be very similar, or if not the same.
Love it. We have a question from All Pink, and she asked, can you just give us some simple advice for those of us who know how important it is to blog and enhance our SEO, but have no idea where to start or effectively?
All right, so this is a fun question. Step one, go to tonicsiteshop.com/SEO-download and get that checklist, okay? That's going to be key to writing quality blog posts. A lot of people also think, oh my God, like I have to go and write like 300 blog posts a year now. Like I just can't do this. I'm not like a blogger, which is totally fine. I actually recommend that people start with 6 to 10 blog posts per year. So that's like a blog post per month or less, right? And that's going to give you time to write really quality blog posts. Again, we're looking at quality over quantity. The more that you do write, of course, the it's better to have more when it comes to SEO. But again, it's not better to have just a bunch of random blog posts out there that don't go in depth, that don't prove your expertise. So I would rather you work on 6 to 10 really high quality blog posts that answer questions that your ideal clients are looking up. Okay, so again, think of what are my ideal clients looking for online? Do I have answers and in-depth answers about those questions or those problems? If I do, write a blog post about it, right?
Oh no. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So
yes.
We're good. Man, you've seriously converted so many people here, and a lot of people also love TONIC, so that's why they're here. I love it. Okay, so in the comments, I did post a blog post that we just wrote that goes with this webinar. It's got a lot of the points that Ryan has made, and then it also has the link for the free download, so you definitely want to find that. Again, you want to definitely check out TONIC. They are amazing, just putting out all of this phenomenal information for us. So we're really, really thankful for that. We have, I think, one more question here. Seventh Maid would like to know. So the SEO title for images, is that where the main keywords should go?
Ooh, that's a really good question too. So I actually talk about that in the download. There's that on-page SEO tutorial. I talk about where to add that. A lot of people do think it's the SEO title, because, SEO, yeah, of course, let's add that in there for SEO, but it's actually the description text box that you want to add your alt text to.
Okay, love it. Sorry, we do have more questions. People are just, this is so great. We have time, so we're going to get to these. Okay, so what is the best way to benchmark your current SEO ranking and to measure the improvements after the changes you suggest? How long does it take before seeing improvements?
Yeah, 2 tools, Google Analytics and Google Search Console. My favorite, Google Search Console. And I'm going to throw this out there. It's not complete yet, but we are creating a super awesome in-depth resource that's going to be an opt-in on TONIC Site Shop soon. So if you do opt in for this SEO download, you'll get notified when this comes out. But I'm going to go over everything you need to know about Google Search Console. It is my favorite tool. Basically, what Google Search Console does is it tells you the keywords that you are ranking for and where you rank in a Google search results page for those keywords, and also what page is ranking. So if you want to benchmark, get Google Search Console, see where you're at now, start working on your SEO, and in 3 months or 6 months, look back and go, okay, I went from page, like 4 or 5 for this keyword. Now I'm on page 2. And then now you're getting closer, maybe optimize it a bit more, and then you can get onto page 1. Another great tool is Uber Suggest. You can get an account there and that tool will actually tell you page ranking as well. But Google Search Console is free and it's amazing. So definitely look into that. And if it's something that you just want to wait, definitely opt into this SEO download, and we will give you a notification when this Google Search Console training comes out as well. It's essential for every business to be set up with Google Search Console.
Love it. Okay. Natalie asked, she created a website on a different platform. Can I use the same tags and descriptions on that closed site, or will it damage my credibility?
Yeah, so I think you're asking, are you able to add SEO titles and stuff to websites that aren't on Show It?
Yeah, I think she's just saying that she had a website before and probably doesn't have that one anymore. So can she use those same kinds of tags on her new website?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Okay, great.
Definitely.
Great question. We have another question. I don't have a blog set up right now currently. Have it as a coming soon sign up for the newsletter page. Should I keep this page visible or remove it until I am ready to move forward with the blog?
That's totally fine. I think if people are interested in your blog and they want to be informed when you post it, having a coming soon and maybe like an opt-in on there is a great option. Kind of just like not having it at all, people won't keep in mind that you may have a blog in the future, so they won't think of you and your blog when it comes to that time that you do launch. So I would say keep it up.
Pete just asked, any recommendations for extra SEO tips to take when moving your current site from another platform to Show It?
Yeah, that's a really good question as well. I get that asked a lot. To me, the most important thing is to keep the content on your pages similar or make them even better. So if you want to keep a lot of like the current ranking that you have, make sure that the content on your homepage matches the content that's on the new website. You can continue adding to that and really optimizing it as well, but make sure that it's not something completely different. And then the other very, very, very important thing is to make sure that the URLs line up. So if you go from, domain.com/about is your old about page, and then your new, if you're going to Show It, and your new about page is domain.com/about us, make sure that you either set up a redirect to redirect so Google knows that the old about page is now about us, or update the new domain kind of slug to be just about. So just make sure that those links all line up and that they're the same. If they're not, it's going to lead to a 404 page. And what Google says is, oh, that page doesn't exist anymore. Even though it does, Google's not going to go, oh, about and about us, same. They just won't see that. If you create a page and it's a completely different URL, but the same content, Google's going to look at that as a completely new page. Okay,
love it. All right, I think we'll make this our last question. So Seventh Maid asked, for photographers, since their blog is typically a portfolio, how many words would you recommend for a blog post to have?
That's a good question. There isn't like the perfect set number of words. Typically, though, what we see on page one results is 1,000+ words. It's actually up more towards that 1,800 words. So you definitely want to hit, on a lot of topics or on you want to write a lot of text for a blog post. Now, the more, again, we didn't go too deep into keywords, but there's a few different styles of keywords. There's short tail, mid tail, and long tail. So long tail keywords would be like really specific, like New York rooftop wedding venue. Like that's very specific of a location and a style of venue. And then the short tail would be like New York venue, right? So a New York venue, you're going to have a lot more text to explain what you're talking about and to rank, because they're probably higher searched but more competitive. Whereas a really long tail, very specific topic, you can use less text. But generally, I recommend 1,000+ words for any blog post that you are really expecting to rank.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, a lot of people had questions about that, so that is fantastic.
Cool.
Guys, you guys are amazing. This was one of my favorite webinars that we've done. Again, we had people coming in from 12 different countries, which is kind
That's
of
awesome.
insane. I will add the link to the to the blog post that we wrote to go with this webinar, so then you can get all the links. But again, check out TONIC. We are so thankful for them. They are a Show It Design partner. They make absolutely stunningly beautiful, crazy websites. And as Ryan had mentioned earlier, I mean, your website design matters. And if people think your website is outdated or ugly, they're going to leave, and that's not great. And Google does not love that. So check out TONIC. Ryan, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your expertise and wisdom that you shared with us, and just truly making this like bite-sizable, we can do these things, and really people saying that, you know, knowing they don't have to blog every day or even every week, doing it once a month, like that's doable. We can all do this thing, right? We can blog once a month. So friends, thank you for being here. Ryan, you are amazing. TONIC, you guys are amazing. What a team. Love this. So check out the blog post, check out TONIC, and come back. We'll have another webinar in a couple weeks.
All right. Sounds good.